Hello. I have a message for you, concerned citizens, patriots, taxpayers. I have a message for you. Stand up to racism are here. They've come to Rushmoor. 3 or 4 of the communists, the far left extremists, have come to Rushmoor. They want to provide welcome kits to undocumented, unchecked, illegal migrants. Can you believe it? They want to make welcome packs, colouring in books, sewing kits, undocumented, unwarranted, illegal migrants into Rushmoor. When was the last time you saw a woman and child on a dinghy crossing the British Channel? There are Christian women and children around the world who live in absolute hell under Islamist terror and who are desperately trying to break free from their oppression and torture. Has anyone seen a dinghy filled with Christian women and children on our shores lately? Anyone? Last time I heard about Christians fleeing persecution in Africa, they were thrown in the water. They were thrown in the water and they drowned by Islamists crossing on the same raft. And you can bet the extremist perpetrators now have been rewarded for their sick crime with a state-of-the-art home and spending money in a Western nation. You will not see the boats filled with women and children. Does that not ring alarm bells, Rushmoor? The government is allowing not only mass uncontrolled legal migration, which needs to stop, but on top of that, we've got the issue of the byproduct of criminal gang-based operations getting rich off of smuggling illegals from foreign cultures and religions into our land unchecked, undocumented, unwanted, all facilitated by the establishment who seem intent on destroying our culture via weaponised migration. It makes me sick. Then on top of that, you've got the traitors at the gate, at the Marxist Stand Up to Racism organising the welcome packs for the unskilled, low-wage labourers' arrival. Here you go, Tariq. I know your country. You were involved back there in gangs, persecuting women, and you've just drowned a Christian in the water. But here's a colouring in book and a new phone. I can't stand it when you look at the persecution globally against Christian men and women and children and Stand Up to Racism, the communists who want to see Britain burn, come here to a place patriotic like Rushmoor and say that Britons should come second. Actually, they feel Britain should come last. It's disgusting. The neo-fascists, the communists, Stand Up to Racism made a plan to come to our borough today to help further attempt to destroy our culture and undermine democracy. And seeing as we are the actual anti-fascists, we thought we'd remind them who's in charge. No one voted for mass, uncontrolled immigration. No one voted for illegal migration via the Channel. My address is to the citizens of Rushmoor. What does everyone need to know about the situation here? Up to 350 illegals are being brought into 113 luxury apartments in Pinehurst, Hillside, Farnborough. There are currently 127 illegals living in Potter's International Hotel in Aldershot. Former Conservative MP Leo Doherty opposed it. Home Secretary James Cleverly paused it, then unpaused it the day before Parliament dissolved a few weeks ago. Leader of the now Labour Council in Rushmoor, Gareth Williams, has set about to implement it after taking to Twitter and posting a video saying he was doing what he could to stop it. He blames Leo Doherty. Labour MP Alex Baker is so far silent on the issue. Go on to Alex's Twitter, search her, not a peep, not one word. She's supposed to represent the constituents, is she not? Absolute shambles. Shambles. Ladies and gentlemen, why are we here today? Firstly, it's to tell the communists that stand up to racism, the far left extremists, that they aren't welcome in this borough, and to educate them on some home truths. The vast majority of the illegals aren't women and children. They are unskilled, fighting-age men. These people predominantly aren't refugees fleeing war. They're not fleeing war zones. They are fighting-age, male, economic migrants. All we are doing is giving citizens of Rushmoor a chance to be heard on government policies which the British public did not vote for. No one voted for this. No one voted in favour of an illegal invasion of our home. No one has ever said, please come into my home, I want you to destroy it and take anything you want. No patriot has ever said that specifically about their country either. We have never been asked if we approve of this. Not once. We have been overlooked, ignored and smeared in the press. Today, we as local patriots make it clear by saying illegal immigrants are not welcome here. It is the communists who want to destroy Britain. It is the far left in Britain who support cultural vandalism and the consistent erosion of our culture and breakdown of our communities. It is the communists who want to steal Britain from us. It is the communists who hate Britain. The left will scream as loud as they can that illegal immigrants are all doctors, they're all lawyers, they're all nurses. This is completely untrue. They are lying to you. You are being lied to. They are low-skilled, low-wage economic migrants, often criminals, abusing the system and stealing British jobs, further destroying our grassroots future in the UK and forcing them to join corporate America and the London-centric economy. Because what other choice do they have? Straight into white collar, via the universities, which are far left communist indoctrination camps, straight into white collar, straight into the London-centric economy, straight into corporate America. Hour and a half commute, 2 hours commute, away from their towns, away from their families, away from the family unit, 18-hour days, and for what? To be a slave. Meanwhile, who controls the high street? Every time you use a local vendor. Where are they? Where's Britain? Where's the British people? They're chasing the dollar in corporate America. There's no opportunity. They're disillusioned. They've been emasculated. These migrants lower the tone of absolutely everything and put us all at risk, both short-term and long-term, culturally and economically. A large number of these individuals are also not fleeing persecution. Let's talk about the Albanians, shall we? These are foreign problems being brought to our shores. You know what's utterly unbearable to accommodate? The lefty argument and the Muslim bloc vote who say that we created the wars that displaced the people. Who here created the war in Iraq? No one. Who opposed the war in Iraq? Everyone. An illegal war. Which government ran the Iraq war? Labour. Who run the Iraq war? Labour. How was it our fault that corrupt, socialist, degenerate Labour governments went and displaced all those people and now we have to pay for it? Make it make sense. These are the people that the left will say are arriving here. They are the victims. And we have to accommodate them for the horror induced by other left-wing governments. You cannot write it. They know exactly what they're doing, and their tactics are absolutely despicable. There's a reason why the Islamic community is so pro-mass, uncontrolled immigration. There's a reason why they are so pro-illegal migration. There's a reason why. Because 50% that come across in the boats are Islamic. They're soldiers of Islam. They're not stupid. And God bless all those men and women, Hindu, Sikh, Jew, atheist, agnostic, Muslim, who stand with us, as is viral on TikTok, as is viral on Instagram, men and women of colour, often the brave ones proclaiming that they are Islamic, saying, I don't want any more immigration. I don't want any more immigration, legal or otherwise, because Britain is unrecognisable. So you can stand with us. It doesn't matter what skin colour you are, to be a patriot, to love your home, to love your culture, to love your veterans, to love your history, to be part of something. This is our land, and God bless those people, men and women of colour, men and women, British men and women from all different religious backgrounds, who share our message, who stand with us and say this has gotten out of control. Only some are brave enough to do it. Maybe the reason why more people are afraid to do it is fear of reprisals. Question we should ask ourselves. 90% of illegals arriving here are men. 90% of illegals arriving here are men. How do the feminists feel about that? How do women feel about that? Is that a good thing? They are undocumented, unchecked. They throw their passports into the English Channel, picked up by the RNLI, and they come here and we pay for them. 90% male. They are economic, illegal migrants seeking a better life in a foreign land to be paid for by the taxpayer. Why on earth should we pay for foreigners to be here illegally? Someone help me out with the mathematics. If Britain was a peaceful utopia, if everyone was having children and our grassroots could get on to the property ladder and everything was going superbly, we could turn our heads to other noble causes around the world. Like, for example, bringing here Christian children and women who are currently under direct threat by Islamist regimes across the world, notably Northern Africa and the Middle East. How have we got things so wrong? How are we not more disgusted? How are we not more outraged? These are questions that I want you to contemplate today, please, ladies and gentlemen. Going back to the Albanians, because remember, Stand Up to Racism will tell you it's all women and children, they're all lawyers, doctors, nurses, and they're all our new saviours, all right? That's what they'll tell you, okay? All right. Can anyone tell me if Albania is in a state of war? No. Any geography teachers here? Any history teachers? Any politicians who want to confirm that Albania is in a state of war? In July 2023, the Home Affairs Committee published a report looking at migration and asylum in relation to Albania, which found that Albania is a safe country. Shock, horror, because it is not at war. It is a candidate country to join the European Union. From May to September 2022, Albanian nationals alone comprise 42% of small boat crossings, with 11,102 Albanians arriving by small boat in those 5 months. Does anyone know who controls the drug gangs in the south of the United Kingdom? But bring them here, right? They're great people. Oh no, but the left will chime in here. The left will chime in. They're not all bad. Oh, I love that. I love that. I really do. They're not all bad. We have our own problems. We have our own issues. Why would you import at 50% levels, 70% levels, even 20% levels? Why would you recruit, even if the levels were 20%, if there was a genuine threat to your culture? You wouldn't do it. How about we start having babies instead? How about we start having families instead? How about men start leading the charge in this, our land? Why are we importing? Why are we recruiting? The left's argument does not hold water, other than to propagate and continue to destroy the fabric of our society. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our culture. And that's the communist plan. That's the Marxist plan. It's time to wise up. The left say that these people are entitled to come here. Can anyone tell me which country's neighbour Albania? Anyone? What country's neighbour Albania? Italy, Montenegro, Sicily, Kosovo, North Macedonia and Greece. Can anyone tell me what country's neighbour Iran? Syria, Lebanon, Azerbaijan, Jordan, Turkey and Israel. That's right, 3,000 miles away, and this is the only option for them. It's not because we roll the red carpet out. It's not because we're being treated as mugs. It's not part of the communist plot to destabilise the West and undermine Western Christian men. Of course not. They've got nowhere else to go. We're stupid. They arrive here by paying trafficking gangs. They arrive here illegally and at our expense. And Rushmoor says no more! Rushmoor says no more! Does anyone know what percentage of crime is committed by foreign nationals in the UK? Now that is a naughty one, so I'm not going to pressure anyone, because let's face it, the government aren't going to post those stats. So go on to ONS, go on to gov.co.uk, and you will see, sorry, in literally verbatim, sorry guys, we can't post this, we just talk more about the actual victims of the crime rather than the perpetrators. Ooh, you sly dogs. They're the victims. We're focused on the victims. We're so morally correct and superior. We focus on the victims. Yeah, in terms of justice, should be focused on the victims, but in terms of public reporting, it should be on the perpetrators. Because then we can spot patterns. Then we can spot trends, can't we? I wonder why the government and the left don't want us to support and find out and mobilise based on patterns and trends. I don't know, I'll have a little think. Does anyone know what percentage of foreigners make up the prison population? Any statisticians here? Anyone want to make a guess? What percentage of foreigners make up the prison population? 10%. 10,300 prisoners are foreign nationals. 10%. That is 9.99999% more than I am willing to abide by. We have our own problems. We have our own issues. 10,000 foreign nationals. Well, we say deport them. If you're a foreign national and you've committed a crime here, you get deported, mate. See you later. What are you doing here? Zero tolerance. It gets even better. 3 in 5 UK prisons are overcrowded. Labour are about to start releasing dangerous and violent criminals way before their debt is paid to society. Wait for it, it gets better. Who knows what Sky News' headline was at 10 o'clock last night? And I quote, "The new government has confirmed thousands of prisoners will be released early from September onwards to ease the issue of overcrowding UK prisons." So let me get this straight. Mass, uncontrolled, illegal migration. A weak, virtue-signalling, politically correct government enabling the problem, prisons filled to the rafters, and the solution is to release them early. 10,000 foreign prisoners. Who pays for the prison system, guys? Who pays for the prison system, guys? Right. Ladies and gentlemen, I've done my best to paint the picture in broad daylight, but I cannot force you to act. You must choose to fight back. When exactly is enough enough? When your culture is so desperately under attack. If the facts aren't enough to motivate you, ladies and gentlemen, I'll explore the situation in a different way. Who stabbed to death 3 people in Reading 2020? Kari Sadala, a 25-year-old Libyan male refugee. How do we feel about that? Forbury Business Park, Reading, with a knife, slaughtered. Libyan refugee. But it's okay though, because they're not all bad. Remember, guys? Remember what the left tell you? They're not all bad. And it's very true. They're not all bad. No one's saying that. But at what point do we say enough's enough? When you've got Marxists in our institution teaching our children that little Johnny can become a girl and little Sophia can become a boy. So we've got mass uncontrolled immigration, we've got Islamist terror, and in our institutions our children are being indoctrinated and brainwashed by far left extremism. Fathers, men, women, families, patriots. When is enough enough? God bless you all for standing here today. In Manchester 2017, British-born Salman Abedi killed 22 people and injured 1,000. How many more Salman Abedis do we have to endure before the killing is no more? And God bless those British Pakistanis who stand with us. God bless those members of faith, those members of different tribes who are welcome in Britain if they are law-abiding, who stand with us and say, you're absolutely right. We denounce and we reject radical Islam. Few and far between. Very, very sad. In London this year, Abdul Azidi threw acid in a woman's face and at her 2 children. Does anyone know where Abdul Azidi was from? He was an asylum seeker, failed from Afghanistan. Well, come and debate. Come and debate. How can you stand against this message when you're clearly a father? Disgusting. Shame on you. How did he get into the UK? He said he was a Christian. He lied. And the Church of England fell for it. Does anyone know what type of burial Azidi had? Islamic. It was a Muslim burial. Okay. Well, he got what he wanted, right? I mean, he threw acid in some woman's face and he got what he wanted. Seems about right, doesn't it? The 7/7 bombings carried out by Islamic terrorists were orchestrated by British-born sons of Pakistani immigrants. You guys want to get really, really uncomfortable? Yeah? We passed the point? We passed the point? Is everyone starting to get it yet? Is it being made clear enough? This isn't about race, it's not about colour, it's not about religion. It's about patriots saying no more. I mentioned the facts. Maybe the facts aren't enough. There are cultures and faiths which want to integrate, and there are those which do not. This is a massive, the #1 problem that we face. It's not about economics. It's not about 300 billion that way and 4 billion that way and 100 million squillion that way. It's not about that. There's more than enough money to go around. This is Britain. This is a cultural problem and we have to mobilise against it. I mentioned mass killings, anti-British sentiment and domestic terrorism. Maybe that's not enough either. I am left with these 8 arguments to convince men in the borough to stand and defend their communities and to join us. Number 1, if you recruit low-skill, low-wage migrants into the economy, you will further erode and desecrate the economy and its culture. You continually undermine and reject the indigenous grassroots from earning a decent wage. You reject them locally and the chance to feel part of the fabric of growing up in Britain. They will all simply flood to the London-centric economy. The problem is only going to get worse and exasperated. Also, what have they done, these illegals? Can someone tell me? What have they done to deserve luxury flats when our grassroots can't afford to get on the housing ladder? It is a disgrace how our grassroots are being emasculated by the invasion and the prioritisation of illegals. Does anyone disagree with what I've just said? I genuinely want to dialogue with you, not now because I'm doing a speech, but afterwards. Does anyone disagree with what I just said? Our grassroots should be given a chance, should they not? Number 2. 2 minutes left to go, guys. Where are these people coming from? What background are they? What faith are they? What are their cultural values? Do they despise us? Have they been radicalised under Islamist regimes in the Middle East and Northern Africa? How do we know? Who are they? Number 3. What religion are these people? If they are not Christian, why are we importing them? We are a Christian nation. Are we not? Are we a Christian nation? Christians need to find their voice again, but that's a separate conversation. Number 4, what gender are they? Why are we mass importing 90% men from foreign cultures? Why are we importing non-Christian fighting age males? Number 5, public services are at breaking point, our elderly are forgotten about, and the government's plans under Labour is to exasperate the problem by lending our hard-earned cash to people who have contributed absolutely nothing into the system and to our society. Number 6, thousands of residents in Rushmoor have waited for social housing opportunities only to see them being occupied by undocumented and illegal immigrants. Why should the needs of the local lawful residents be overlooked in this way?